produce department, and we have garlic, small onions, red onions. They contain a special ingredient that is actually really good for you, so eat red onion now and then in your salad. Yellow onions, white onions, you know what to choose from. Just take a regular yellow onion because it's the most generic and they're the cheapest, and these happen to be called sweet onions. Maybe they're especially sweet. And then I'm going to go over to, where are they? Let's find parsnip. Maybe by the carrots. Root vegetables, that's what I'm looking for. Where are your... These are parsnips. You probably walk by them every day and you don't know what to do with them. They're a root vegetable. And we're going to make soup. So we got an onion, some parsnips, and I have some chicken stock, and off we go. Hi, welcome back. We were in the store trying to show you parsnips. They were not making it easy for us. Let me just show you what this odd vegetable is. It's a root vegetable like a carrot. Similar to taste in a rutabaga or a turnip. And I know when we're walking through the produce department, sometimes we see things and we think, well, I'd like to, but I have no idea what to do with it. Well, the holidays are coming up, and parsnips and root vegetables of all kinds make a wonderful soup. We're going to cook this up so simple you won't believe it, and we're going to puree it in the blender. It's something that goes great with the pork roast we did last week, or a turkey coming up for Thanksgiving, or a roast beef dinner. Anything that you've got planned, you can incorporate this, make it a couple days ahead. You can even put it in the freezer. All it has in it is a little cooking oil, some onions, some chicken stock, the parsnips itself, and I'm going to put in a little bit of fresh thyme. So simple. Let me get started. We're going to go ahead and heat our pan like we always do. There it goes. And I'm going to peel these parsnips. This is how you do that. And remember, I told you can run it back and forth and make it go a little faster. And turn it over. And you do want to get all the brown off. Scoochie these. Oh, you can smell them already. They kind of have a really sweet, interesting smell and taste. You can do these with something that's left over. Let's say you have cooked carrots from the night before, or you've had parsnips for dinner before. You can take the leftovers that are fully cooked and mix them up with the sauteed onions and the chicken stock that we're going to use and put it in the blender, and you have a soup. So let me finish these other two, and I'll come back to the onion. We'll put the onion in the pan, which will be hot. Okay, here I am with the onion. I'm going to show you a quick way to cut the onion up evenly. So we take the ends off, and this is kind of flat, so it's a little hard to catch. Oh, my knife is dull. Look at that. There we go. Okay, we just want to cut that end off. This will go into a stock. And I'm going to cut this right in half. I'm going to peel it. And I'm going to work with the shape of the onion to make the pieces come out uniform. And an onion is made with these layers that go like this. So I'm going to go this way. My knife is a little dull. Yours might be too. Sharp knife will prevent you from pushing too hard. And then we're going to go this way. And we're making a soup, so we don't have to do a tremendously fine dice or anything. We just want it to cook evenly. Any onion would work. But like I said in the store, we're just using an inexpensive yellow onion. Okay, that's good enough for a soup. We're going to put this in the blender anyway. Catch all my little pieces. The pan is hot. I'm going to add a little canola oil. I don't want to use butter because I don't want to add cholesterol. There's really going to be very little fat content in this soup in the end. And olive oil has flavor that I don't want to include. So I'm just going to use a little canola oil so we can saute and sweat these onions. You hear right away my pan is hot. And like we did in the leek with the pork roast, we're going to cover this to capture some of the steam, and that way they won't brown. They're just going to become translucent. I'm going to chop up these parsnips while we let those sweat. Yeah, I meant sweat, not steam. And we're going to try to cut these sort of uniformly. So as I get toward the fat end, I'm just cutting them a little skinnier. that important, but that way we get them all soft at the same time. And these don't have to be pretty because I'm making soup. I'm not serving these to go alongside a roast or anything. And one parsnip will probably make one serving of soup. That's kind of my guess. They're very firm, so, you know, take your time to cut them up. And I'll be back in like 2 minutes when these onions are sweated. Okay, let's check these onions. Oh, see, look, we're good. We're getting a touch of brown, so that means I want to get in here and stir this. And they look really nice. I gotta tell you, almost everything in the world starts with sauteed onions, or onions that have been sweated. So get used to doing this, because this is the beginning of almost every soup. Onions are in every sauce, every stock. If you don't like onions, I don't know what we're gonna do with you. So, most people, when they're in something like this, they don't even notice once it's blended up. So unless they're allergic, just don't tell them. I've just chopped up those parsnips like you saw, and I don't need to do anything except cover them with this broth. If you're a true vegetarian, just use a vegetable broth or even water. This happens to be Swanson's chicken broth, and it's 99% fat-free, no MSG, but I don't mind if it has a little salt because this soup will need salt anyway. So I probably got 3 cups in there. All I'm going to do is cover this, bring this to a simmer, and then we're just going to poach this, technically speaking, until the parsnips are tender. We throw it in the blender and we puree it until it's completely smooth and a beautiful velvety soup. Okay, let's just give it a check. I don't think it's ready, but I'm just going to see where I am in the process. Oh, this is what's called fork tender, or when you stick something in and it falls off. It's not falling off real fast though. See that? So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. Then I'm going to smash one up, or, you know, just see if it's blendable, because I really want it to be a velvety puree, which means I want these to be cooked really tender. But that's what fork tender means, is that and it should just fall off. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a check. Oh, you can see they're not, see, they won't even grab. See, they're all very, very tender, and I can see them splitting. So, you can let this cool, because when you go to blend, you have to like loosen up this part of the lid and put a towel over, because the steam, I don't know exactly what happens, but there's some sort of vacuum and it'll blow the lid off and you can burn yourself. So if you have the time, go ahead and let this cool a little bit. But let's say your guests are here and you want to serve this. So we're just going to put this in the blender. I'm pulling out my thyme leaves. Oh, it's going to fill it up. We've got 4 servings here. Okay, everything's out of the pan. Almost. You know, I'm going to do this in 2 batches because that is just the right amount to make it blow up. Okay, so we'll start with this amount. And I put the lid on. I know this seems silly to show you how to use a blender, and I'm actually going to put that ajar. It's probably going to blow out a little anyway, so I always put a towel over this, because you really can scald yourselves, ladies or men. And I start to blend it, and we haven't had any accidents. Great. So now I can take this off, and then look-see. I'm going to do this for at least 60 seconds, maybe more, because I want this to be completely velvety. And most blends, there we go, it's on high now. I'm going to taste it, check for salt and pepper, and I'm going to show you the texture, because that's really what makes this wonderful. There's no cream involved. It's the creamiest soup you'll ever want to taste. I'm grabbing a bowl, I'll be right back. Okay, let's give it a taste. It's very hot. It tastes great. Sweet. The parsnips are a wonderful flavor. Some people hate them. I love them. It doesn't even need salt really, because the chicken stock was salted. You could garnish this with anything you wanted, but let me show you how velvety this is. And it looks like it's a cream soup and it's not. Now I have a friend who wants bacon on the top, which makes it totally non-vegetarian, even if you use non-chicken stock. Or you could use chives, or sprinkle a little nutmeg, or even just some black pepper, which you know is one of my favorites. But the truth is, there's nothing wrong with the soup just like it is. Oh, give it a try. It'll go with your holiday dinner. It goes right with duck too, or goose. Thank you for joining me. We made parsnip soup. You can do this with any kind of root vegetable, potatoes, anything you have left over. Throw it in there and put it in the blender. As you can see, it's kind of cloudy here today in Florida. It's still warm, but nice and breezy. The bay looks great. Next time, this is sort of a precursor. We're going to start to do some soups, stocks, and sauces. And stocks actually come first, but I wanted to get you in the mood, so I went ahead and made a soup. And when we make our own stocks, we'll be using those, but don't ever be afraid to buy your own favorite, you know, bottled or canned or cartoned chicken broth or vegetable stock, because it just makes life easy. See you next time.